Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2026, we are celebrating the 41st anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 11,000 stories and 11 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. We are proud to announce that Hotspots Happening Out is a beneficiary of the Florida AIDS Walk. Funds raised will be matched dollar for dollar in support of Hotspots Happening Out HIV policy reform and educational programs, including the MSM conference. We invite you to join Team Sunshine Cathedral in this initiative. Join us on March 21st to walk in support of the HIV community and along the Sunshine Cathedral team.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Greenland is queer-friendly, not for sale, and not impressed by Trump. Greenland, the world's largest island and a self-governing part of the Kingdom of Denmark, has a very small population, and that population includes LGBTQ people. Greenland has marriage equality and very open attitudes toward the queer community. LGBTQ people feel so safe and integral that there are few designated queer spaces, though the country's capital or even Copenhagen are available to those who want a more urban feel with more obvious queer spaces. Speaking of Greenland, apparently Donald Trump is serious about wanting to take it against the will of the Greenlanders and the Danish people. But many of the people in the U.S. aren't really on board with taking over Greenland. A recent poll shows that about 75% of Americans are opposed to the U.S. trying to take control of Greenland. In fact, there's bipartisan opposition to the idea, with some lawmakers warning that using military force could damage the NATO alliance. Denmark and Greenland's leaders have made it clear they're not interested in selling, saying Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders, and demanding respect for their territorial integrity. Even some Greenlanders are speaking out, citing concerns about preserving their way of life, including hunting traditions. It's worth noting that President Trump has been pushing for U.S. control, citing national security concerns and the island's strategic location, but it seems like he's facing significant resistance both domestically and internationally. Several NATO nations have pledged to defend Greenland, and Trump is threatening tariffs on those nations. Good God, Squad, WTF? This is blatant imperialism, right? This is, and for all of the Christian-type people, or the self-identified Christian-type people, I just have some words to throw out there for you. Assyria, Babylon, Egypt, Rome, Persia. In the Bible, empires are the baddies. The empires are never praised. Empires are never the good guys. It is always the people of God over against the invading empires. The empires that try to control the way you worship and what you can do and where you can live and who you can marry. And people defy those empires. Sometimes they have to head for the hills and take up shepherding. Sometimes they wind up in a lion's den. Sometimes they wind up crucified. The empire is the bad guy. Empires are the people, the dominating nations that take over other nations. That's what the empires are, and they're never the heroes of the biblical narrative. Ever, ever, not once. And so there's that. Also, we like to think of ourselves as a democracy, as one of the leading democracies, as a bright light in the world for democracy. I think increasingly we're discovering we have deluded ourselves quite a bit. But if we value democracy at all, that means respecting self-determination, sovereignty, the will of the people. So no, there's no moral justification. There's no way that we can take Greenland without Greenland wanting to be taken that makes us anything other than villains in this narrative. And so I think we're talking about 56,000 people. I don't care if it's 56 people. That's their place,
Yeah.
and they get to live their lives with their culture and in their way. And so, and I'm glad that their allies are willing to protect them. I'm also horrified and ashamed that we're who they need protecting from.
Yeah, WTF, indeed. You know, it's becoming increasingly apparent. And I think we've known it all along that Trump doesn't really care what anybody wants. It's about what he wants. And truly, until some of our elected officials grow a spine and make things happen or not happen, things like this are going to continue to happen. These unhinged threats will continue to happen. But one thing about empires, too, empires fall.
Amen.
Empires fall. So something
Lord
to think
hates
of.
the day.
Indeed, indeed.
I saw a meme today that said, no, you can't have Greenland. You haven't finished Venezuela.
Yeah, I saw that too, yeah.
And we get to laugh. Ooh.
Well, you know, I think like, you know, Venezuela, distraction.
Yeah.
Greenland, distraction.
Yep.
Let's come back home and deal with our own problems, Epstein files, and then let's talk about some other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, trying to take over somebody else's land, it's just like we've been there, we've done that. It doesn't try to prove it. Look at what happened to the Native Americans in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
destiny.
Yeah, and if that is an example of what could possibly happen with Greenland, and bottom line, I don't see it happening. You know, this is just another one, I think, distraction moments that he's really trying to like distract the world and how great I am. I'm going to go in and do this. He wasn't invited in to do this. You know, he wasn't invited in ever since J.D. Vance went there at some point, and that's when this whole thing became a big issue. Who asked you?
Yeah.
You know, no one's pleading, saying, oh, we need another country to come take us over, and no one's asked you. And who ready for the LGBT community is there also to stand it up? So
Right.
good for them.
I love that Greenland has such an active LGBTQ plus community. It says a great deal about their type of governments, and we should bring that over here. Maybe they take us over. I have been listening and reading the memes about this. I love the one that we just heard, and there's another one that tells Trump, and my brain just left.
And that's what happened to Trump.
That's what happens to him. Yeah.
I'm going to walk away from that. Maybe it'll come back to me. I was listening to members of parliament, the UK's members of parliament, and they were just scoring this guy. They were saying that finally the world is saying out loud the quiet part, and that this guy is a madman. Another thing that I was listening to gave a dystopian scenario. What happens if the United States actually goes into Greenland? The first thing that happens is NATO goes, oh, we have to stop you. And that means that they have to stop a member nation.
Yeah.
And then the stock market, this guy said the stock market doesn't crash, it closes. We are not able to do business anywhere in the world. All of our jets get grounded because nothing can leave the United States to go to the to Europe, and all of the Americans who are stuck in Europe are stuck in Europe. I mean, the
Implications.
the landslide of craziness that will happen, it's you can't believe that our representatives are going to let it happen. They've been way too quiet up until now. They have to start speaking up. If the UK's members of parliament are ready to say, no, this can't happen, where in the hell are our representatives? I know that there are Democratic Congress people and senators who are speaking up. They need the Republicans, though. What happened to this Republican Party?
And how did this all of a sudden become a matter of national security?
It's a baloney.
Yeah.
You know, of all the other presidents that we had, this has never been a national security
And is it
issue.
because they're close proximity to Russia?
Well,
But isn't Russia just been invited to be part of his peace club or whatever? His peace club?
Exactly.
The $1 billion
Yes,
peace
the
club.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nothing ever makes sense. And have you noticed that since he's got control of Venezuelan oil, there's not been one drug trafficker since?
isn't that just a
No drug
Yeah.
issues at all anymore.
Really?
No.
Really?
That's
Okay,
just a
wow.
wonderful thing.
And I think we're having trouble bringing up charges against the one that was removed from office by the DOJ department. So yeah.
Okie dokie.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I want to invite you to check our Performing Arts series in January 2026. Very soon, we will enjoy the antics of actor, singer, comic, drag artist Varla Jean on January the 24th.
Then on January 30th, Miss Richfield, 1981, will bring her offbeat brand of hilarity to South Florida.
On January 31st, the beautiful voice and charming style of Ann Steele is back. Headliner of concerts, clubs, and cruises, Ann makes audiences fall in love with her and her angelic voice, sense of humor, and heart-touching storytelling. Information about these performances and performers, as well as tickets to their shows, can be found at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
On Saturday, February 7th at 8 p.m., you'll want to catch selections from the musical Pearly.
And on February 13th, we'll be featuring Jay Rodriguez live. An OG Queer Eye for the Straight Guy star, cabaret performer, and musical theater actor will be right here in Fort Lauderdale at 8 p.m. Saturday, February 13th.
Finally, on February 28th, Adrian McGrady will be performing a range of musical styles, from jazz to electronic, on 5 different kinds of flute.
And remember, all of those can be found at sunshinecathedral.org/arts for your tickets. And you can also get an add-on for the Cathedral Pub. The Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts offers the Cathedral Pub experience. The Cathedral Pub offers performance attendees an inviting space to gather and connect with friends prior to the show, or a place to be while waiting for the doors to open. Guests enjoy live music, beverages, and appetizers in a comfortable meet and greet environment while they await the start of their performance. On show nights, the Cathedral Pub opens an hour before each performance and closes 15 minutes before the show starts. Entry to the Cathedral Pub requires a separate purchase from your seat ticket, and the link can be found on the seat selection page. Be sure to purchase before checking out. There's a limited number of people who can get pub passes, so don't delay.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we're all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.